The new two-player starter sets for Conquest is finally upon us with the new Yoroni faction. Hello everyone, and welcome for another video of Love and Wargames. In this video, we are doing a two-part, like two-half video. The first one, we're going to unbox this beautiful box with insane artworks and have a look at all that there is inside. It is supposed to be like, it is one of the best way to start Conquest, because whether you look at the Yoroni half, which is again a brand new army that is first available through this, or the W'adhruns with some beautiful miniatures, you do get a discount of basically minus 50% just by buying this box. So the Yoroni half and the W'adhrun half, let's say that you wanted both of them, it is a discount of already minus 50%, and which is already a huge deal. You have tons of things. We'll take a look inside. And that's already great. And if you go on the Parabellum website and you use the code LOVE10, you have another 10% discount, and it helps us as well a lot. So thank you so much if you do that. But first, let's have a look if the miniatures are good and how they play. Do you want to play Yoroni or W'adhruns? Both of them. We will try to answer all of this. We made a video, like a really long, almost 2-hour video, where we review every single starter from every faction. So three starters per faction, basically. So you can find it in the list before. We published it like it was like some weeks ago. And we saw already that this was one of the best deals in terms of pure discount. So if you want both factions, go for it for sure. But even then, like, even if you just want the Yoroni, it's still such a good deal. And then you can just sell the W'adhrun because you have crazy discounts for the W'adhruns. Even better, like this is a bigger half of the discounts with very new miniatures as well, such as the Quatl. And if you want W'adhruns because you wanted to buy a Quatl, and this is the best chance for you because it's cheaper than the Quatl alone, and you get the Quatl plus a few units for free. That's insane. Enough talking about the discounts. Let's open the box and have a look at what is inside. If you want to go directly to the tactical analysis, there are timestamps right here, and you can go and check the Yoroni, you can check the W'adhrun Tacticas, and at the end we're gonna have how to expand. So you bought the box, what is the next logical purchase for you? It's gonna be at the end of the video. Without further ado, let's take a look at what's inside. I got it. It's a very heavy box. Oh my god, okay. Actually, what we do with these big boxes, and this one I feel is gonna be surprising, is we're going to weight it. Yeah, as you can see, it's like 1.76 kilo. So it's like nearly like we're closer to the 2 kilos. So you do have a lot of plastic, a lot of resin in there. I know it's not the right way to check the value of boxes, but I always like when it's very heavy. Oh my god. Oh, it's so full. Oh my god. Okay, oh my god. Did I open it? We have a lot. Spoiler. Maybe I should open it somehow differently. Yeah, it's like a treasure trove of plastic. Oh my god. Okay, we'll try to unbox everything out. It's gonna be easier. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna unbox it with you. It's gonna be even funnier. And we're gonna try to see, like, experience as a new buyer what you get. Okay, you do have this first part of plastic from the Winglord Predator / Quatl for the W'adhruns. Still, like, with this giant flight stands. And for those who don't know, W'adhruns are basically orcs that ride dinosaurs. I'm making it very much simpler than it is, and they have like this kind of like central / South American aesthetics. It's like, they're very cool. Like basically, yeah, lizard men that are actually orcs riding dinosaurs. If you're not convinced with this, I don't know what more could convince you. So we got this. Always, like, this is one of the newest miniatures, so very brand new, great sculpture, quite solid, even though like this is ropes, like you can move it around. I would look stupid if I break it, but yeah, like especially this, like this feels very tough, even this. So don't just throw it around once you build the miniature. But I don't, so Hyacinthe playing the Quatl quite a few times, and he's not extremely careful with his miniature. Let's say, like, sometimes they fall and stuff. He never broke his Quatl. And then I'm zooming for this sprue. Those are going to be the hunting packs, the smallest dinosaurs you can have. You can see the size of the head, which is very small. Well, small for Conquest. Some of the first boxes that were released for the W'adhruns, if I'm not mistaken, those hunting packs, but still very happy. If you didn't have them, they're great. I think if you have only 3, you might want to go to 6 to really have great flankers. If you already have 6, I don't think you need to go all the way up to 9. You could make like 4 and 4 instead. Well, we'll talk about it in the Tactica, but depends how many of them you have. Second sprue of those nice little hunting packs, very beautiful. Plastic made by Archon Studio in Poland. So I guess it means if you are American, it's gonna be more expensive very soon. Do try to buy it before the taxes happen. If you're in Europe, you are safe because Archon Studio is not moving away from Poland. They did announce a StarCraft 2 miniature games, like skirmish unfortunately, but I'm very excited for this. But it's absolutely not the topic for this video. Those are Tengu W'adhruns, it seems. Are they the Raptor Riders? They're absolutely the Raptor Riders. We can see the little paw of the Raptor, ready for the handshake. Then you can see the body of the Raptors right here. Very powerful units. Again, you want at least one pack of 3 in your army. And Raptor Riders, if you lean on them, it's the one unit of the W'adhruns pack when I'm like, if you go all the way to 9, it's fine. Like you can really play them 4 and 4, or yeah, 4 plus the leader and then 5, and you have this on the flanks. Then you have a very powerful force as the skirmisher. And then you take the table. Well, sorry, spoiling a little bit the technical part. Let's not go too much in details. And then should be the Quatl. Oh my god, that's a lot of plastic. Oh my god. Nope, those are the Yoronis. Okay, let me try to find the W'adhruns to finish first. This is Yoroni. Those are just Raptor Riders. I would like to see the Quatl first. Yoronis. It's a little bit of mess of everything. Tengus. More Yoronis. I guess the Quatl is all the way at the bottom. Yes, it is all the way at the bottom. You've got all the bases right there. I'll have to spread it between our W'adhrun and Yoroni players. What more do you have? You have dice. Good lord, yeah. And they're nice and big and you like them. Okay. You do get 2 sets of dice, which is great for brand new players. 2 sets of like movement tabs, I guess. Is it 9? Yeah, 1, 3, 2, and 9. You can even use it for, I don't know, 4K if you want to measure your deep strike. Yes, they're in plastic, but it's nice. 1 for each player. You have 2-dimension terrains, which I know is not the best. I know that it's better to have 3D terrain, but isn't it nice to have like just nice terrain to start playing the game efficiently with some true terrain, even if you're brand new players to wargaming? I mean, there is a forest and a hill, I would say, and the same on the other side. Oh, and if you, okay, this is a forest. You can hide in there, especially if you're north and on. And this is a blocking. This is a house. I love that it's 2 sides. And here it's nothing. You can say it's a hill to be a bit higher. And then a forest. I love that they are multi-purpose. More bases and everything. Wall base, you know, not going too much. Companion guides, like welcome guides for both of the factions. Where for each of them, they spoil what I'm going to tell you, how to expand your army. Okay, they just explain literally the rules. They do give you some tips. Okay. Well, they're really like saying in terms of composition and everything. But I will tell you more like which box to buy, instead of telling you like build this exact army list. Some building instructions. Okay, is it the same? Is it both armies in one? Yeah, it is both armies in one. Okay, that's gonna be annoying to share. You have 2 maps of the world. Actually great. It's really made to be shared. Great job, Parabellum. Like, it's not like, okay, you take the dice and I take the map and all. There's really enough for 2 players. Love it. A quick start guide with, I guess, the rules. Yes. You have the cards. You have the awesome regiment. Love it. I wonder if someone will try to make it. Special rule, it looks cool. Love it. Okay, so they really explain to you how to play and why is it vice versa. Quick start guide. Is it made so you can cut it in half and share it? I believe it is exactly what it's meant to be. You just tear it apart here and each player has a half. My god. Some engineering went in there. And finally you get, of course, the Quatl. We made a deep dive like unboxing and Tactica recently on this, so if you really want to have a very strong deep dive on both First Blood and Last Arguments of King, because here we're gonna cover the most popular Last Arguments of King on both, otherwise the video is gonna be too long. But if you wonder, the Quatl, how does it play on First Blood? Can you talk to me 30 minutes about how to play with this guy? Look at our previous video where we unboxed the Quatl. You can still see like how detailed it is. And you actually see it in action in our latest tournament report that was some weeks ago, like a month ago. And Yassant has it and he used it very efficiently. Then we get some more Raptor Riders, and here some more Yoroni. We're gonna take a deeper look of the Yoronis, of course, because those are the brand new ones. The Yoroni character, I guess, or at least it's an expansion for a character. It's quite funny, the shape of this. And the cards for those, oh my god. Okay, we're gonna take a look at the cards. Yes, right, the Yoronis can be played a bit more free because you don't have unit cards. For those who don't know, you need to, like, yeah, you need to make your deck. For example, if you're W'adhruns player, you say, okay, I put it in this thing and you take it from the top. Okay, my next unit to play will be the Winglord, and then the next unit will be the hunting pack, and you make this at the beginning of the turn. While for the Yoroni, it's gonna be with those very stylish cards, and you need to play a unit with this element, so chi, so more like the resilience. And then you can activate any unit that is chi, or you can activate another unit, so you're quite free, but then you're a bit weaker, or you don't have the bonus that would make you fine. 2 for the speed, love the little face up there. Ka for pure GPS, and she was it the healing one? I don't know, but we'll check for the rules exactly. But yeah, I love how you have so many cards. Because yeah, you have a lot of modularity, which is fine because when you are a new player, you can build your units however you want. You are very free, but you kind of like, you cannot build them bad. You can buy whatever you want, but maybe you're gonna need help the first couple times to make your army list, which is what we're gonna help you with at the end of this video. Okay, let's start this Tactica for each of the 2 factions. And the first thing I want to say is I'm sorry because this video is being released late. I still have a little bit the flu, which got me sick, and I was coughing and I couldn't stand, and well, just sick, so I couldn't make any videos for a while. I'm very sorry, guys, and this means that this video will be released like early May, and yeah, I'm very sorry, but still, even though there are it's several weeks late, let's still cover what we are going to get for each of the different miniatures, and we'll go straight to the point. First, the W'adhruns, because it's a bit easier and there are some units that I've already covered, so I'll send you back to some previous videos if you want to have a more detailed deep dive. And then the Yoronis, which are the new kids on the block. Do note that at the end of each faction, we will talk about how to expand from there. So the W'adhruns, the key words are that they are orcs on dinosaurs, and for most people this is enough, and this is like the elevator speech that got them into the game usually. They are extremely cool, that's for sure. They used to be very complex, and in some ways like the Eldars of 40k, in the sense they have a very high ceiling and very high floor as well, and with some very specialist unit, even in the fluff. They have become more and more and more beginners friendly. There is going to be an update that has been announced on the middle of May. We had some teasers already, so I will not go too much in detail of how the chants work and everything, because this will be reworked, and it will be reworked to be even easier to play, like more intuitive especially to explain, because when you play against a W'adhruns player, at least from my point of view, I'm like, yeah, just do your thing, I trust you, just do your chants and count your thing, etc., and I will believe in you. Now it's going to be more easy to follow for both players, and it's going to be very fun. There are a few sub-factions that, of course, you can mix as much as you want. You have the tribes, which are the basic orcs. They, like all the braves and the blooded, and they have their shields, or they have the little ogres. They're very offensive oriented. There are hunters with javelins or slingers with stones and everything. So the base of the orcish tribes. Then the speakers, which are those that ride or control dinosaurs. So Raptor Riders, Tyrannosaur, Apex Predator Riders, Tauntors, Flying Dinosaurs, Triceratops, All of those different dinosaurs, even the independent hunting packs that we will see in a second, all of those are speakers. And you also have the cultists. So the cult are highly specialist. They're like aspect warriors of the Eldars in the sense they are extremely specialized. They follow each of them one of the different god of Conquest, the game, which the gods are death, conquest, famine, and war. They're like primordial elements or things. And for each of them, you have the chosen of conquest, the scion, which is the leader, and yeah, they're quite a specialist, and they are the latest releases. Overall, very cool army, and if you do like the elevator speech of like orcs riding dinosaurs, probably they are an army for you. We'll start with the giant bird, and this is the one I'm gonna skip fast because I spoke like 30 minutes about both versions of the Winglord Predator slash Quatl for First Blood and Last Arguments of King in detail. Plus, it's gonna be updated. It's gonna be a little bit less mobile because from this, he's gonna lose the fluid formation, but he's gonna get better barrage capacity. There's gonna be some changes on this guy for sure. Also, the warlord capacity is gonna change. Many changes, but what you need to know about this after the changes that's gonna happen, it's still gonna be extremely mobile, a good character with some shooting, with some charging capacity, hard to pin down, and it is not going to anchor your army at all. It is going to go a little bit around to be highly mobile, even if it loses fluid formation, and to harass the enemy on the flanks and being annoying to deal with. That is still going to be how the Winglord Predator is going to play. If you want to hear me talking about every single rule, we have a video from some couple months ago when it was released, because again, it's a very recent release, where there is an unboxing of this guy. There is a deep dive on both versions for both games, when we see every single rule and what it means and how you can play it, etc. So if you want to deep dive, go there. Otherwise, if this is your first start of W'adhrun faction, I highly, like, you have to build it as a Winglord Predator because it is going to be your only character. If you already play W'adhrun and you just bought this box because it's such a crazy deal, then yeah, probably you will want to build the other version, which is the Quatl. Much cheaper, 40 points cheaper at 170. It's a little bit worse at everything. It doesn't shoot as good and everything, but it's still a great beast for the point cost. More points efficient. It is not a character, so you do lose that. You cannot have the warbands of Hunting Pack and Raptor Riders, which is obviously what you want. But it is still a very good unit, and if you can magnetize both versions, you can. Otherwise, you can also absolutely proxy. I cannot imagine a Conquest player being like, no, you know what? It's not exactly the right head for your character, so you have to play it as a Quatl and not as a Quatl Rider and not as a Winglord Predator. Yeah, nobody's ever gonna say that. But if you want to magnetize, sure, do it. It's fun. Now we're gonna talk a little bit more in detail about the Raptor Riders because we didn't make a deep dive on them since a while. They are also gonna change with the next update. They are glass cannons, a little bit like the Quatl, so they are quite mobile. You will see it's a theme, like all the units of the W'adhruns in this box are glass cannons. They are 180 points, which is a lot for light units that cannot capture objectives, that are only defense 2, evasion 2, with resolve 3, 5 wounds, so they will die if they get caught by anything half serious. And for the point cost, you don't want that to happen. They are, however, great harassers. They have fluid formation with movement 8, very mobile. They can reroll charges innately now, great. They also have flurry inbuilt, so clash 2 sure, but you're going to be clash 3 full reroll is quite a good stats, especially since they have 5 attacks each, plus the champion, so it's going to be quite good. And they can shoot 2 per model, plus 1 for the leader, so 7 attacks, with volley 3, armor piercing 1. However, one teaser we had for the update, they're going to lose their special capacity Mountain Hunters, which allows them to have a free volley action all the time. But sometimes you couldn't use it because you can only make a max of 3 actions per activation. And sometimes, because of your chance, etc., you wanted to make a move charge attack, and then no place to have a free volley action. Now it's going to be more intentional and not just something free and automatic. And when you make a chant on the Raptor Riders, you will be able to have this free volley action. So you have to spend your chant token. However, it seems chant tokens are more often, like basically you can chant every other activations from what they've teased us. We'll need to check if it's indeed like this. But then it means you can have much more units chanting, and the Raptor Riders then get back their free volley action from this, so it's more intentional, as I've said. And when you do that, you gain on top of this the capacity as if you have aimed. So +1 to your volley, which is quite a difference sometimes, especially on the low number of shots, which means that you're gonna have your attacks, 7 attacks for the minimum size, volley 4, armor piercing 1. Starts to be really good. Plus, after this, you can for sure charge and attack, and then all the attacks will flurry. If you've seen the battle report with Iggy TV, French channel that we made a little guest appearance, link in the description. My colleague Iggy played those Raptor Riders, and there was a leader in there, but he just obliterated unit after unit because he played them very well on the flank as Araser, just making always flank charges and everything. They are lethal, but if they get caught by an angry enemy, and in this case it was like one leader alone, they can really melt very, very, very fast. Overall, high value unit in terms of point cost. It's also quite expensive to buy it separately, so it's very good that you can have it here, and often they are MVPs in every game that I see them. Another unit you get, and also another glass cannon, is going to be the hunting packs, 3 stands. Those are probably the most fragile unit in the game. Defense 1, evasion 1, resolve 2, and 3 wounds per stand. They will get killed by anything that attacks them, nearly. Like, except if you have like one wounded archer barely trying to shoot at them, they will die. They will die. However, they are extremely mobile. They are basically cheaper Raptor Riders, like considerably cheaper since they are 2/3 of the points. Sure, they're gonna lose some speed, going from movement 8 to movement 7, but hopefully they're gonna go down in points after that. They have fluid formation, great. Vanguard 4, also very good. Irregular nerf, but whatever. Opportunist, which means they gain flurry if they make a flank charge, flank attack, amazing. And loose formation, so they're harder to shoot at. Luckily, otherwise they will just melt anytime there is a unit of crossbowmen in front. They are very mobile and very fragile, as we've said, but you're like, why would I play them? Because if you do make a flank charge, it's going to be 18 attacks, 19 actually with the leader, 18 attacks, 19, at Clash 3, full reroll, and this is enough to obliterate any unit of little skirmishers, little archers that you go to hunt and everything. You will absolutely obliterate them, and to be fair, even mid-game units like, I don't know, men-at-arms or phalangites and hoplites and stuff, if you do manage to flank them, which again is not impossible at all, especially with fluid formation, like you move 8 or 7, fluid formation, charge, like you can for sure be in their flanks very easily. Even hoplites will melt if you flank charge them with those guys. So another glass cannon, and the last unit that you get in this Yoroni starter set, most of the price comes from the Quatl, obviously, because it's such a massive miniature. But then you're like, okay, the Quatl Winglord is mobility soap unit that is not holding a line. Neither are the Raptor Riders, neither is the Antipack. How do I hold a line? Well, spoiler, they made at Parabellum this starter set for 2025, which seems purpose-made to be a complement of the Yoroni vs W'adhruns 2-player starter set. You get all of this, and those are everything that you need in complement for your units, because you have a chieftain, leader of the tribe, that is getting a rework. He's gonna get very good, like he gives flurry to his unit. It's not the time to talk about this right here, but the teaser we had from the other date is gonna be very good. And you get 24 models of veteran, 6 stands, which is brilliant, because yes, you can play them in 2 packs of 3, and one of them is going to have the chieftain, but I think you want to play them probably as one big pack of 5 veterans plus the chieftain, or even 6 veterans plus the chieftain, but then it's not a beautiful square. And then just have this huge anvil in the middle of the table, and with your little skirmishers like hunting packs and stuff on the flanks, and that is going to be brilliant and very tough. The veteran might be, I'm not a W'adhruns player, but I think they might be the most efficient defensive unit, points per cost per points, efficiency per points. And yeah, they're very, very resilient. They're very quite elite tribe units, which if you give them flurry through the chieftain, we'll need to see the new data sheet, but if you give them flurry on this big pack, it's going to be even better. And yeah, this is exactly what you miss, a big, tough infantry unit to hold the center. You also have the warbreads, which are these ogre things. Also some sort of big hammer, quite fast and like, I'm not gonna call them glass cannon either, but let's say they are more on the glass cannon side because they're a bit fast. They can absolutely hold a punch, but they're quite expensive, and when they get in melee, they obliterate everything. And then you have 3 Thunder Riders. I love them. I know they get buff after buff because apparently they were not so good for the point cost. I mean, they were expensive, but whenever I saw them, it was so cinematic. Every time they arrive on the table, and you know when your opponent is deploying them, it really becomes like, oh my god, everybody hold the line, stop moving, just prepare to absorb the impact, and try to survive the charge of the Thunder Riders. It's always very cinematic. I love these models, and apparently they're quite efficient and good now. So all of this would be 225, without even counting all the goodies you get, like 2D terrain, some dice, some lots of different stuff, a map of the world and everything. So it would be 225 without counting the goodies, but you have a 29% discount, so the starter set is at 160 instead of 225. And if you use the code LOVE10, first of all, thank you very much, guys, and you get 10% discount, and it should be 144 euros actually, and so it starts to be a really great deal for everything that you get there. And if you use LOVE10, thank you very much, guys, because that's how we fund the channel. We don't have Patreon or anything like this. And thanks to your purchase, you have the best price from Parabellum, you have the free delivery, 10% discount, and you get some money back to get some painters to paint our models, because we don't have time with our real job to paint them. And we can rent some places like the French Wargame Cafe to rent some tables and get our battle report recorded. And the Majestic, of course, and thanks to all the bars that let us pay to rent their tables. So very, very good starter. There is another starter that we'll see right now that I don't like as much, but this, it really feels purpose-made to complement the 2-player starter set. Like, when they made the composition, they knew what was going to be in the 2-player starter set, and they made this pack so you buy it just after the 2-player Yoroni vs W'adhruns starter set. Brilliant pack as a complement. The 2024 starter set from the last year is also good. You get a little bit more discounts, sure, 32%, but you have a little bit less goodies, so it balances out. It is basically the same, except you replace one pack of 3 stands of Veteran with Braves that can be built as Blooded, which means you're going to have 2 different satellite units, more variety, sure. Is it as efficient? I don't know, but it can. I can be persuaded to understand that more variety is better for starting players, sure. But what I don't like, for sure, is that you replace the 3 Warbreads with 3 Raptor Riders. Again, don't get me wrong, I love Raptor Riders, but you already have 3 with a 2-player starter set. Do you need 6? At some point, yes, if you play 2,000 points, sure. But if you're a new player starting the faction, I am not sure it's great. If the Raptor Riders were Warbreads, first of all, it would make the price a little bit lower, so you wouldn't have as much discounts. And the only variation was Braves or Veterans, we can have a discussion. But since it's Raptor Riders replacing Warbreads as well, I would be like, take this, it's going to be better. Plus, you have the new Signs of War, which is going to be able now to lead the Warbreads, and it's going to be brilliant. So yeah, if you love Blooded and you want a lot of Raptor Riders because you think the unit is so cool, sure, go for it. No problem. It's not a bad choice. But if you're a new player and you're like, what should I do? My recommendation is this. They are so close, you can take one or the other without making a mistake. And again, LOVE10, 10% for you, and we can survive. So thank you very much if you do that. Overall, the W'adhruns are a very cool faction. I mean, if you like the concept, again, elevator speech, orcs on dinosaurs, go for it. Brilliant. Yeah, if you've always, like, if you started to play World of Warcraft with the orcs in Durotar and you've seen those kind of like dinosaurs from the trolls and you were like, this is what I would like in a war game, well, there you have it. It's exactly this. They used to be very complex, as I've said, very high ceiling and high floor as well. They've become more and more beginners friendly, which means that some of the top players are like, yeah, but my super complex combo doesn't work anymore. Sure, but nobody understood what your combo was doing, maybe not even the conceptors of the game. And now it's just a very fun faction that does what it looks like it should do. The glass cannon units like the Raptor Riders and the hunting pack are very glass cannons. With the new updates, the things that were completely OP, like the slingers, which were absolutely OP, are going to be nerfed for the W'adhruns, so don't buy 3 boxes if you want. I know the winners of the World Championship, Teams Championship in Paris. The winner team had a W'adhrun player with like, I think it was 3 different units, 3 big packs of slingers because they were so powerful. Don't take this example, they will get a little bit nerfed, and all the units that were underperforming are going to get a little boost, which is great. Like, this is what we want to see from updates. Overall, I'm trying to give you tips on how to optimize, how to do things, etc. But W'adhruns is like one of the armies that speak to your souls usually, and when you see this, you're like, okay, this is exactly what I want, and I give you tips on how to best start. But if you see this and you like Raptor Riders or my jam, go for the 2024 starter set for sure. Or maybe you will see this and you'll be like, but I don't know, like I love the Quatls and everything, my 2-player starter set, but what I really want is an Apex Predator and a Tauntaur because I like giant dinosaurs and I want to play Jurassic Park list. Then for sure go for it. It's a fun game. I'm not saying you're gonna win tournaments if you just throw random stuff in your list and you go against competitive players, but everything is playable and you will have fun. Like the W'adhruns are now, this was not the case 1 year ago, the W'adhruns are now a faction where you might not be super competitive, but you will have fun and your units will do what they look like they will do regardless of how you play. Like your Tyrannosaur is always gonna be a beast, and if you don't play him well, there are no synergies, it will die at some point and you will not win the game, but it will have eaten 1 unit and a half before it does, and that's what we all want to see. We then go to the Yoronis, and those are the newest faction on the block. I'm still shocked at that they give such a good deal on how to start collecting Yoronis, but it's very good. I hope that it means they will do this on every new faction henceforth. They are highly inspired by Japanese mythology. They are a faction of spirits coming from the plains. I will not go too much into the lore. They are, all of them, ogre size, as we have seen. They are all of them quite huge. So if you don't want to paint a horde of 100 models, this is the faction for you. All of them are quite big. Almost all of them. There is one unit that we didn't see yet that is going to be infantry, but you don't have to play with them. They are very elite, very customizable. There is like what they call like mixed regiment. I forgot how they call, but it's basically you can put every model you want in a pack, even if it's very heteroclite. Hope it's an English word, heteroclite, it's a French word for sure. Basically, you can really mix and match everything in a single unit. Choose a leader which will give a boost depending on who the leader is, and then you can really try to have fun like this. They're easy to list build, easy to play because you play with your cards, those I've seen in the beginning of the video, and you always have this safety net in case you, but I wanted to activate this, you can, so good safety net. But if you abuse too much this flexibility, you're gonna punch under your weight class, so you don't do it too much. They seem quite powerful. Like for me, they seemed good enough. Apparently they were not so strong, which I can understand. I didn't play against them yet. And they're all of them, compared to what you're gonna see here, in the next update, they're all of them going to, especially in the mixed regiment, going to get +1 wound on each and every single stand, which is an insane boost. Apparently they needed it, and we'll see how it goes, but it means, you see, Parabellum is really dedicated to having balanced faction, which is great. So they are very elite, very easy to play, very easy to collect. That's why I say they're equivalent to Custodes. They're going to be the faction that people can start with very easily, and the sculpts are brilliant. Like, yeah, when you compare with what Parabellum was doing at the beginning, it's like day and night. Like for sure now. I mean, personally, I like Japanese culture and stuff, but these miniatures don't speak to me that much. But I can absolutely respect that those miniatures are insane. There's probably some of the best sculpts that I've ever seen. And if you do like this type of sculpt, then jump for it. Like, they are extremely high level quality sculpting and plastic and everything. We start with the character that you get in this 2-player starter set, which is the Daimyo. 110 points. I'm going to go a bit more in detail with the Yoronis. This guy has defense 3, evasion 2, so toughish, with a resolve 4. Does give it to the unit that he joins. 7 wounds is a lot, especially when you are such a brute with 6 attacks at Clash 4 base. So it's going to be Clash 4 rerolling 6s. You have impact 3, sure, and cleave 2. So 6 attack, clash 4 rolling 6s with cleave 2. This guy is a brute, and even my Dwagom lords are going to be afraid to go in a duel against this guy. Like, he's extremely, extremely threatening as a duel. And he counts as 3 stands for seizing zones. Okay, sure, it's good because you don't have many models. Great. His supremacy ability is called Lord of Roaring Flames, and it means that once per round, it's always active, once per round, every round, one regiment, when you activate a unit with the Ka, so the fire ideal, you can replace your previous activity capacity with the fact that you gain glorious charge until the end of the round. Yeah, and I just realized I didn't show you what the Ka gives by base. Basically, when you use Ka, your regiment, and you are a very good unit, you gain impact +1, brutal impact +1, which is good. But this means that you gain glorious charge instead of this, so you don't have impact +1 and you don't have brutal impact +1, but you gain +1 clash characteristic, so you hit better, even if you have less number of attacks and you have less cleave, but you gain better touch and terrifying 1. So if your enemy has super high evasion, for example, and but you can get him from the morale, then it's a good lord capacity to have, for sure. If you have an enemy that has super high defense and low evasion, and for example you're playing against Old Dominion, then you will never use this, for sure. And the active supremacy is that the turn you decide, any regiment that activates with the Ka ideal, so when you activate it, even if it's not a Ka unit, you activate the Ka card for these guys. Even if it's not a Ka unit, you can give them impact +1 and brutal impact +1, even if technically you were not supposed to because you use your safety net. So it's good. And I think it can combo with the fact, no, okay, you cannot combo both passive and active. But anyway, still a good capacity, good supremacy. Not insane, I will say, not insane, but it's fine. I do feel like against some matchups you will prefer the base version of the Ka because it says replace its effect. If it was in addition, I would be like, sure, good, very good. Right here, the Warband, you have the modular regiment, which is this mix and match that I was talking about. You can also have some Dai Yokais and Genya no Yokai. Just making a quick review so you can see. So Genya no Yokais are those giant monsters, and you have the other version, which is the more less demonic and more military version. This Daimyo will be able easily to have those guys in his warband. So if you like them, I do have to admit the theme looks good, you can have this. So in the end, this guy is quite a good beat stick, but he's not such a supportive character, like support-oriented character. I mean, it's a very good default like leader. He's such a beast that you will want him to have some ablative wounds and then just go around and duel stuff out of existence. And yeah, every character, every faction needs to have a default leader, and this is going to be it. And at 110 points, I mean, it's not bad. And again, he will obliterate things not only in duel, but you put him in a mixed regiment, modular regiment, and he's going to add a lot of efficiency and damage to the unit. I mean, 6 attack that will most of the time hit with cleave 2. Just by himself, he's going to kill a couple stands per activation. So yeah, it is a good character. Then we go to the Oni Ayakashis, and those guys are very, very interesting. Well, they are defense-oriented, and you know that I like defensive regiments. Do note they are 80 points per stand. So wow, it means 240 for 3 stands, if you are so inclined. That is a lot, which I understand why they give them a 7th wound, because they're not that resilient otherwise. What they do give, if they are a leader, is they give +1 to the defense and evasion characteristic of the entire modular regiment. Great. Means, for example, in their case, they would be beast at evasion 2, sure. Defense 4, base, great. Resolve 3, 7 wounds, and that's already quite good. They have impact 2 and trample, which means they don't mind that much to make a move charge, because they're gonna make 6 attacks at impact, and then 6 automatic hit with trample. They don't have cleave anyway, so their trample is even better than their impact in a way. Otherwise, they have 5 attacks at Clash 3, so gonna be Clash 4 when they inspire. That's not ridiculous at all. It's gonna be 15, 16 attacks. Only problem is, again, they are defensive oriented, but they are not with any source of cleave. Movement 6 seems good to me because I'm doing them, but it's average. If you make a big pack of those guys, I would say they really want to have your Daimyo inside. Why? Because they're gonna be very tough. Defense 4, I mean, yes, they're gonna be tough with 7 wounds, 21 wounds. Great. They're gonna be very tough, but they're not gonna do a lot of damage. Yes, they're gonna trample, make some impact the first time, and make quite a lot of hits without cleave, but do put your Daimyo, which is gonna explain the life to their opponents, because 6 attack at Clash 4 rolling 6s with cleave 2, this is exactly what they need. They are the ablative wounds with high defense to make sure that this guy doesn't get obliterated with its unit, and this guy, the Daimyo, will bring the efficiency, the power that those guys like. And again, it's modular regiment, so you can mix and match. Yeah, if you make a pack of 3 Oni Ayakashis as a frontline honor guard for your leader, it's gonna be great. Be careful though, those guys are chi, they are not ka. So they, with the combos of, you remember like what we said, like friendly regiments can use this +1 impact and +1 impact. It only works if they are ka. But I mean, maybe they don't mind going to impact 3, brutal impact 1. It's maybe even better than just hitting better with your impact and getting terrifying. Again, exactly what we said about the matchup. Overall, it's the dwarf player speaking. I really love the Oni Ayakashis. Very defensive, very tanky. With the 7th wound, is going to be brilliant. They are your objective central frontline holders. And the one thing I want to say is that these guys are chi. So if you activate an ideal card on those guys, they gain Indomitable 2 until the end of the round. Indomitable means that when they lose wounds from morale, the first 2 wounds, because Indomitable 2, are cancelled. So defense 4, resolve 3, Indomitable 2 starts to be extremely difficult to destroy. And remember that they are chi, but you can once per game with your Daimyo leader give them the Ka capacity, if you really need it, to give them better, more impact hits and brutal impact as well. Okay, now we are going with the Oni Ayakashis, which are the guys that go with your Daimyo because they have their Ka battlefield role. They have the very similar capacity as the Kamis, with going to be the same number of wounds, 7 wounds, but even at 6 they're going to be fine. They were fine, I think. Defense 3, resolve 3, 5 attacks, clash 3, so exactly the same attacks. They don't have trample, but they don't mind because they gain cleave 2. And this means that their attacks are going to be devastating. So they are much less defense oriented, but damn, all those attacks at cleave 2 with a great clash 4, those are absolute blenders, which they need to be because 3 stands is 240 points. I mean, they need to be able to do business. Again, it's like Custodes, they are extremely elite, extremely expensive. But damn, 15 attacks, and if you have a leader that is an Oni, you gain +1 attacks, so it's gonna be 6 attacks each of them, 18 attacks, clash 4, plus you also gain Juggernaut rule, which means you charge of your march distance +5 automatically, which means 11 threat range. Yes, it means your enemy can go around, but I mean, it's basically the max value of the charge that you could get anyway. So you are very stable and you will not fail your charge because you know what you can or cannot charge. And yeah, they are just absolute blenders. Personally, I prefer the command capacity of the Kamis because I'm a defensive player and +1 defense, I just love it. But damn, having those Kas, getting this +1 charge, +1 impact and brutal impact all the time with your Daimyo is great. They're just great. So again, very fun units. And the sculpts are so good as well, and the painting as well. Like everything is great with them. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Japanese demons. I have to admit, if they were Japanese soldiers with this type of armors, I would be more interesting. The fact that demons like this, I'm like, a bit less. But the miniatures are so good, the rules seems very fun. And again, if you're a new player, you play this, the balance will be made by Parabellum later on, and they're easy to play. Like, you just charge something down, you have your charge distance of 11, you position yourself 11 inches after you double move, etc. by the enemy, and next time you activate, automatic charge, and with this firepower, like, you just obliterate something. Except if you attack, and even if you attack some extremely tanky units, like whole things with super high defense and everything, you will kill quite a few of those with the volume of attack and everything. Those guys are great blenders, and they go good with the Daimyo. Last unit that you're going to get are 3 stands of Tengu Bushi, also modular regiments, so you can always mix and match. But will you want? I'm not sure, because they're a bit faster, so you will need to be pure Tengu Bushi to have this movement of 7. And also, if you are entirely composed of Tengus, which are the Tengu Bushi or the Tengu Ayakashi, which are not part of this starter set, it's the archer ones, then you gain the fly special role, so you can go over units, you're extremely mobile. Okay, so you are highly incentivized to have this. Plus, if you are pure Tengus, which you probably will be, because otherwise, you will have the capacity of ignoring the effect of injuring terrain. Sure, fine, especially if you go to play against the Nords at their own games. And you gain Vanguard 4. So they are really good skirmishers, Vanguard units, for sure. And the painting is made, like, just look at this, like, wow. Wow. They have defense 3, resolve 3, so basically the same stats. They have only 5 wounds, big difference here. 1 less, so they might go to 6 wounds later on. They are barely cheaper, 5 points cheaper per stance. They have more attacks though, they have 6 attacks each, Clash 3 as well, Impact 2 like everyone, and they have Flawless Strike. Flawless Strike means that, yes, you don't have Cleave, but for every ones that you roll, the enemy's defense is counted as 0. You can still roll for your evasion though. Overall, they are not as brute power oriented as the previous one, with this one just killing anything and this one being unkillable. But they're much more mobile, they're a bit cheaper, they are more fragile. Flawless Strike is still fine, and I think those Tengu Bushis and Tengu Ayakashis, even though they're not super flashy, like, oh my god, they are so powerful, they're so, they do fulfill a role that you need in your Yoroni faction. The Tengus being the flankers, basically, with ignoring hindering terrains, they can stay in the forest and be like basically playing the Nords game at playing with terrain a lot and being very fast and then charging and being very happy. Okay, sure. Flawless Strike, you can even, like, it's always a good rule. Like, as a Dwegom, I am more afraid of people with Flawless Strike than people with Cleave 1, sometimes Cleave 2. And the fact that you can fly, there are so many combos that you can do. It does mean that you can go over garrison terrain and impassable terrain if you have like a river or something like this. Sometimes you don't have, and it's quite rare even in tournaments. But having fly means that you can march or charge, etc. over friendly units, enemy units, or even enemies that are in melee. Usually you cannot get too close if you don't want to charge. Here you can just say, like, you know what, this we have a pack of like kamis that are engaged with some very tough enemy infantry. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna double march or march and charge, and we're just gonna go beyond because we are just flying above them, and we're gonna go to hunt your enemy caryatids or your super elite archer that thought they were safe behind your lines. And just for this, it's a role that is very, very precious. And let me tell you, like, they don't have cleave, but 6 attacks each, clash 4 when they're gonna get inspired. They're gonna melt the archers, maybe the men-at-arms that are protecting them. These guys are not to be underestimated in terms of firepower. But again, they're also quite expensive. So okay, you have your units, and you're like, what do I get next? And boy, do you have a good answer. I'm still shocked about that Parabellum discounts so much, like gives such a good way to start a new army. You have the 2025 starter set for the Yoroni's. It's called Cohort, I think. We're gonna have cohorts for other factions. I hope we're gonna get those for the Wagomes and any faction because it seems very fun for First Blood. It is technically made for First Blood, but since the Yoroni's are very modular, you don't really care. You can take one of the little Tengu Bushi and put it in your little modular regiment, etc. This is just insane. It's 100 euros for everything that you see here. So basically what you will pay for your W'adhruns / Yoroni half of the 2-player starter set. And you are basically paying half price compared to the brand new in box. It's insane because usually, like even if it were at 160 euros, which is, as you remember, what we've seen for the W'adhrun starter sets, and all the other starter sets are sold at 160, it would still be 18% discount, which would still be, for a new faction, I would say it's good, it's still good. But here it's 50% discount. What the hell? I still expect like one day I will refresh the Parabellum website and they'll be like, oh no, it was a mistake, it was supposed to cost 160. Sorry, still sick a little bit. And yeah, this is just insane. You get another character because of course they plan on you buying both boxes. So you're gonna have the Kitsune Onmyoji, 2 versions to build, more like support, magic oriented character. You get 2 more Oni Ayakashis, so the blenders. You get 2 more Tengu Bushis, the fast ones. 3 more Kamis, yes, because they are super tanky, I love them, and you get 3 more of those guys. And finally you get 3 more Kappa Bushis, which are those turtle looking things. Yeah, let's call them turtle looking things. And you know what, I'm gonna make a little data sheet because I'm so excited for Parabellum to do this. Usually we don't make deep dive on data sheets that are not part of what we've received, but since they made such a great effort on it, let me tell you a few things about Kappa Bushis right now. But overall, this is the thing that you want. Like it's for me, it's such an auto include. I would say you're a new player, you like, I want to stay at Yoroni. Either you buy only 1 box because you want to have a low investment, see if you like the miniatures, how they get painted, maybe make a demo game, then sure, buy 1 box. But if you're like, oh my god, I love those miniatures, I love the playstyle, this is exactly what I wanted, then get both boxes because both the 2-player starter set and the Yoroni 2025 starter are insane deals. Like other factions wish they had this treatment. So if you like this, both combo extremely well together, and they're gonna be new releases in May, June, August. For the Yoronis, the faction is coming off with a bang. Love it. Now let's talk about the Kappas. Alright, here are the Kappa Bushis. Very, very cool miniatures. Like, are they turtles or are they dragons? I don't know, but they're very cool. They have defense 3, resolve 3, same thing as always, 6 wounds that are going to be 7 wounds, same number of clash. They're very similar as the core, which is good, otherwise if you had to calculate unit by unit it would be a bit harder. They have cleave 1 base, which is great for a unit at 75 points. They have flurry inbuilt, which is lovely. They have 5 attacks each, but flurry is great. And they have 2 things. They are part of Sui, adaptability, which means that if this unit is part of your group and you activate it, you may choose to change the stance command rule until the end of the turn. So again, command rules are like the +1 attack and Juggernaut or +1 defense. So it is indeed very much about adaptability, absolutely, and it's very good. And the command special rule that you have with this guy is that it can be activated and gain the effect of any ideal. So not only Sui, but basically anything. You activate a card with Chi, you can say like, yeah, I'm activating on this regiment and he gains the Chui bonus or the Ka bonus or anything. It's very adaptable. There are 2 ways I see the Kappa being built. Again, I didn't play them yet or against them, so maybe I'm wrong, but I see 2 different ways to play those little guys. Either as 1 stand or maybe 2 stand that you will plug into another unit. Those really like to be plugged in because this way you benefit from the other things, and they're quite autonomous. They give you 5 attacks each at cleave 1 flurry, so they're good just boost of a unit at 75 points. They're not the most expensive either, very well. Or you can use them as a core of a very adaptable unit that you will keep on the side. You're gonna have maybe 1 big pack or 2 big packs, very specialized, and this guy that you don't really play with too much, but you know that if you have a card and you don't know what to do, it's gonna go on those guys, and they're gonna gain the benefits anyway, and then they can mix. And having a very much mixed regiment with a lot of things and one Kappa Bushi as a leader, and you're gonna be able to plug and play and choose which command capacity you want each time. And so yeah, either one Kappa Bushi in a unit, not as a leader, just as a little bonus to give some good attacks, quality attacks, flurry, cleave one, great. Or as, again, one Kappa Bushi as a leader with a lot of variety inside this modular regiment, and then you can plug and play and choose what you want to do. And you can also activate it whenever you want, so it's extremely mobile, like versatile. Okay, we've covered the Yoronis, everything that you will get in those starter sets, except the new leader, but it's a lot of things to talk about, and maybe we will receive it, so I will make, of course, a video then. That was a long video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'm very sorry that it was not released before the second half of the Tactica. I got very sick, and yeah, it would have been just me coughing for like 3 hours and dying, so would not have been very efficient. I hope that you see better how to start Conquest either with the W'adhruns or with the Yoronis. Do expect a battle report. We gave the Yoronis to one of our, probably the best painter we have in the region, which doesn't play any other game that we play usually. He's more like a collection painter, exposition painter, and he's going to make some Yoronis because there are less miniatures and stuff, and they're going to be painted at a very, very high level. So expect them probably in first blood first, and then 1,000 points, etc. But we are for sure going to make a few Conquest battle reports more, and tournament reports. I was supposed to also have a Conquest tournament like last weekend, and I was sick, and I first of all didn't play the tournament, and of course there will not be a tournament report. But don't worry, I'm getting a little bit better. I'm still a little bit coughing, but we're gonna start battle reporting very soon. So expect a lot more content of Conquest in the near future, and we have a new organization, more players, more armies to play, and I cannot wait to start to record with all these new players because Conquest is very much growing in the Paris region and across the world, but I can only speak about what I see with my own eyes. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you want to help us, the main way is to use the LOVE10 code on the Parabellum website to get your free delivery, 10% off, and it will help us a lot. And I see once in a while someone ordering with this, so thank you very much for those guys that do this. Thank you guys, you are the best. Also subscribe, that helps us very much as well. It's nice to see the number growing. Comments also helps the visibility, and it gives you a chance to win a Union Armada for Dystopian Wars, but also Dwegholm large army for Conquest. So for sure, it doesn't cost anything, and you gain a ticket if you put a comment. Like, share with your friends and everything. Thank you very much, guys, for having watched until the end. Do subscribe for more Conquest content coming very soon. And until the next video, take care of yourself, and remember to keep things fair in love and in war games. Bye.